I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. This isn't about you. I can't stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. This isn't about you. I can't stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. This isn't about you. I can't stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. This isn't about you. have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you. This isn't about you. I can't stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you.
Unseen for generations, a Dyad in the Force.
Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of Dyad in the Force, episode 79.
Dang.
We can't say nice on that one, but we are back this week talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4. We're gonna do a fandom checkup just to see, there's been a lot of rumblings in the Star Wars fandom. There's been a lot of discourse, and we're just going to talk about it, address it here. This looks cool. This is the first time I've done this. Can you guys see the monitor really good and everything?
I certainly can.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Cool. Okay, so introducing our panel for tonight, we have estarguarstia slated to appear, so when she comes on, I'll add her in, but for now, we are joined by a relative newcomer to TikTok, maceahwindu, and his name I believe is Josh. Can you introduce yourself? I don't know if I know you.
Hey, yeah, it's okay. No, not many people do know me. It's a small. I just started like literally yesterday. I was surprised when I got your call because I have like 10 followers or something.
Just answering the Pod Ones podcast. The belt is in the back. I only have one light on for dramatic reasons, but it's back there. The championship belt.
But yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me on your show. It's a very gracious opportunity.
Absolutely.
First of hopefully many.
This actually is the first time you're coming on Dyad. So
Is it?
No, he's been on.
I think one time before, I believe. I think so.
Yeah, this appearance will make him a series regular.
Okay.
But yeah, for sure. It's just there's a lot of people to get on these days and not enough days in the week to get them all on. That's why we have continued to do our live watch along for Kenobi to have more people on during the week. And we were joined by Cal and estarguarstia for episode 4. And if you guys, when you're in the Dyad in the 4 server, if you want to be on a live watch along with us on Tuesday at 11:30 p.m., hit us up and we'll get you in. Those episodes are really fun just because of the reactions. But we are also joined by the unofficial sponsor, sponsored by Denny's. I'm just kidding. That's solo. Joined by jedimasterdepaul. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I can't complain. Life is good. I'm still coming off of the celebration high. not trying to fall into that depression. It's because when I think about it, I get a little bummed. I'm like, oh, let's go have some drinks and karaoke and all this good. But, oh no, that's next year.
Hey, looking forward to London. Do you guys? Are you guys like? Do you have plans yet?
I have a strong desire, and I do have tentative plans to go next year. Obviously there's some stuff to work out, but I have a goal of going next year. So yeah, working on getting the passport now.
Oh, that's right. That's a hurdle.
Yeah. And we all know what's going on with everything. So I'm in the same boat, and I might have to take my wife to Europe before I go, because like I'm not trying to go to Star Wars Celebration just to go to Europe. I'm like, all right, I might make 2 trips.
Hey, I mean, the initial plans for me is to arrive 2 days before so that I can actually go around London and probably hit up Scotland. But the plan still exists for us to have a central base of operations for as many people as possible, so that when we're done for the day, we can all retire to the same spot and hang out with each other. Not like this time around where everyone was scattered and we could only see each other when we were at Celebration or when we had plans externally. Choco, how you doing?
Fantastic, terrific, great. I'm happy we're having a little mini reunion here. Had a great time with y'all. Just good times over at Bruheim and karaokeing. So it's nice to see. It's nice to just kind of like relax with these people. It's like a barrier. Not that I've had any trouble talking or hanging out with y'all before, but like you know how it is. It's just war. It's all love. But yeah, no, I'm happy to get into it, because there's a lot going on with Star Wars. A lot of potential news. I know. I'm just excited because it's a good time.
Absolutely. Shout out to Jordy Jedi, whose birthday was last week. They retracted the message.
What happened?
They retracted the message, but I wanted to shout out their autocorrect or their typo. They said Scotland is 5 hours away from Scotland, but they corrected themselves. Shout out to Michael Parson in the chat. Cal4, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan, yes, you need to get on the server. I will let me know in the chat what your Discord tag is, including the hashtag, and I'll get you in the Dyad in the server, or Dyad in the Force server for guests, and we'll get you on. Shout out to Jeff Cacciatore, Xanatos, welcome, Ven Skywalker, and of course Podwans, who I am a champion of. The belt is over there, as I mentioned. So let's for now. Do you guys have any announcements you guys want to share with everybody? Any announcements forthcoming?
Josh, you or no?
Still working on content and stuff. I finally got back on my 7 forms series where I talked about the 7 forms of lightsaber combat. That was like a 2-month hiatus. I'm famously terrible at not keeping up with my series that I start. So I kind of forced myself to get back on it. I think I just did a Taru. So the next one is Form 5. So I'm going to get through all of them. And there are people that it's not one of my most popular series, but it's one that kind of gets my own like mouth wet in terms of like getting deep into like the lore of everything. I kind of wanted to shift gears a little bit into that every now and then. So it's nice. It's a nice little escape from all the random videos I post.
Why is Form 5 escaping me right now? Is that Niman?
It's like Gemso.
Isn't
Gemso? I believe it's the Anakin's.
No, Form 7 is Gemso, isn't it?
No, that's Form 5. Yeah. I only know this for sure because I literally just did a video on Ataru, and I believe in the Legends article it said that was Anakin's like first major form because it matched his acrobatic bold and brash personality. But then as he got older and became a knight, he kind of switched to Demso, which was Form 5, and it was still really like it was very powerful. It like utilized powerful swings. I'm derailing already.
No, don't. It's
all
of Star Wars is rails, you know.
You make me happy because I was just talking about this last week on the high ground because we were talking about duels, and one of my favorite things is the Matthew Stover novelization talking about the fight with Dooku, because he starts out using his old form, and then both him and Obi-Wan switch forms.
He was like, "What the?" He was like, "Oh shit!" He was like, "These dudes got some juice." Oh no!
I am not left-handed.
I think I'm getting confused with Form 7, which is the aggressive form that is the origination of Vapad.
I forgot what it was called too. It was on the tip of my tongue. I know Ataru. I know Demso.
Juyo.
Form 6. Juyo is one of Maul's main ones too. I believe. Yeah.
That's also an aggressive form.
Lightsaber forms are so cool. Lightsaber forms are so cool. Makashi's my favorite because it's like a deadly dance. It's like
I remember in Sotor where you had stances on your skill bar.
Awesome. I love it. Dang, you gonna make me get into the Old Republic again for the 50th time. I'm gonna get past the tutorial. Damn it!
Listen, I have to get back into it too, at some point. The pecs, the apex, not someone's pecs, but apex has taken a large part of my attention for some reason. You know what? I just think I just need to shoot people at the end of the day. Don't take that the wrong way.
Take it, let's clip it and ship it, baby. I need to shoot people and then me and
I just need to play a shooter at the end of the day.
Order
a first-person shooter.
Hey, I used to do it all the time.
Kind of unrelated, and I don't want to get too off topic, but you spoke of Apex. Did you see the new update coming out this week?
Not specifically. I know that there is an update coming with a beach.
The next update coming, a lot of the major legends are getting anime style skins. Revenant has one that legit looks like straight from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I was like, oh my god. And wow. I think Octane has a One Piece Luffy inspired skin. It's ridiculous. It's wild. I'm only mad because my new main, not Rampart, it's escaping me. Jackson. What's his name?
Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle. He doesn't have any new one, and I was like, damn, man.
He just came out.
Yeah, the new legend doesn't have a new skin. Like, that's whack. But don't get me on that.
Hey, you can call me thirsty though. I'm looking forward to the legends swimsuits, bathing suit skins that are coming out with this beach update.
Hey, you know what you like, so that's all.
I've been waiting to see Caustic, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. All right.
Caustic in a Speedo.
Hey man, listen. My man Gibraltar, yes sir. All right, yeah. So Star Wars.
Hey, try and move me. No, I mean, this is a safe space for people who love pixels and polygons.
Nice.
There ain't nothing wrong with it, you know. Obviously, we have to be but we are aware that everything is fake. We're just, this is how we show our fandom.
There you go. Just to touch on what you said, I do remember I have an announcement coming out pretty soon. I just got to do a video for it and actually put it up and finish ironing out everything with it. We'll be doing some giveaways, team up with the Level Up Sabers for some giveaways. Seeing that June is my birthday month, and I'm like, okay,
when's your birthday?
Back. It was the 7th.
I missed it. Damn,
oh my gosh! Happy birthday, man!
I didn't realize it. What do we get to know the number?
He said
my age.
Oh yeah.
I'm 41. Ain't tripping.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 41.
Sometimes it's sensitive for some people. Some people like keeping it ambiguous.
Yeah, it takes a day for me. Like, fuck.
You know what? It's good. It's good to know. It's good to know how how close we are in age, though.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm a baby. God.
Yeah,
damn,
you are a
guys.
baby. 'Cause
I'm
I remember,
25.
Me and Choco was talking about that in Celebration. Remember that? It's like, hey, Josh is in his 20s. I'm like, he's in his what? I was like, hold up.
Mid-20s, man. Yeah, I only turned 25 a couple months ago too. I'm really
that's
young.
the wild thing about the community is we're having a blast, we're hanging out, we're doing stuff, and like some of the people we had to have an under 21 room.
That's true.
Like,
I didn't realize.
I thought about that
Easy to
too, where
forget.
we were all just chilling, and I was just like, "Dang, man! Like we have such a wide variety of people at different stages of our lives, and it's so beautiful. Like we can talk to each other, and it's like we contemporaries, and it's like, damn, we're all like the same age today. It's just like it's so sweet. It just made me smile the whole time.
It really is. Also, another note, Josh, when you dropping your album?
Oh, okay. No, I mean, I guess this could count as an announcement then. So I'm going to be exploring making some music, legitimate music, like studio music. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is, mind you, this is not something that I had planned to do at all, but that's with most things in content creation. I had no plans of ever doing this. And I was like, you know what? If people
Chet7 subscribed to the Dyad.
Thank you, Chet7.
But it was beautiful. It was cool seeing so many people, more and more people like, do you have any Spotify stuff? Do you have any this and that and that? I was talking to my buddy and I was like, I might just do it. Like, screw it. Like I might just throw some covers out there and see how they are received. And if there's something in it, I might just do it long term or something. And it doesn't have to be like a major like primary thing. I'm first and foremost a Star Wars account, and I've made that clear several points, but it should be pretty fun to do. I'm also doing, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Not Clay. He's the guy who I think you know who he is. Like he's the guy that does like he's like the Chad dude. He wears like his sun visor upside down and he wears like the sunglasses and he's like, he talks like this a lot, like, "Shah, dude, yeah, it's like it's really surfer dude today." He's a really funny guy. We did a lot of duets together and we actually reached out to each other.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? He did like the original like "Where did I go wrong?" It was just like a year and a half ago. Fell out of my seat laughing at that. But we reached out to each other and we're working with another gentleman too. And we're thinking about doing a potential collab with that down the road too.
Hey.
So it should be a lot of fun. A lot of moving parts. I'm really nervous. I have no idea what the next couple of months holds, and I am going to smile the whole way through it.
Hey, if you're thinking about doing a home studio, for sure I gotta send you some info on audio interfaces and some dynamic mics for vocals. That you could get twice the functionality out of using it for your podcasts and your YouTubes and TikTok. All the info, I'm just gonna dump it all on you guys.
Yeah,
please do. I'm
man.
begging you. Even if I don't know what I'm looking at in the moment, like it'll be good to have all that info when I actually can sit down and take a look at it. Because the ultimate goal is for me to do this kind of stuff full time. So if I can get to that point, anything that can make that process easier, it's greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Shout out to Darthman86 in the chat, Haley in the chat. I'll just say Kenny and Haley. It feels so weird knowing a lot of people's real names now. David in the chat. And let's see here. Michael Parson says, "Maceahwindu, I just want you to know you're a huge inspiration for me to something and do TikTok and Star Wars content. Honestly, all of you guys are inspiring."
Aw. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I ran into a guy who watches my videos at my sister's graduation yesterday. It was wild. I was walking up to my grandma. I was helping my grandma get around, and like somebody was like, "Holy shit, I watched the guy on TikTok." And in my head, I'm like, really? At my sister's graduation? It was wild. He was a graduate student, and I was like, wow, that is wild. Dudes from like Connecticut. I was just like, oh my God, like all over the world, man. It is beautiful. It's beautiful how you can run into people like that.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Celebration was an eye-opener. It's such a weird position to be in, and it largely, subsided after you told me just say thank you and move on. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I guess. Because I was trying to be more than that, but it is what it is. People recognize you, and you have to accept it.
Yeah, it's so cool when people like see you, and I know we've all experienced this to some extent at Celebration, and it's wild how like people can see you and they'll just like wave at you because they know exactly who you are, and it's just like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, you legitimately like made somebody's day brighter at some point in the last 2.5 years, and to know that like you can go to bed knowing like, damn, I made somebody's life easier for at least a couple of seconds. That's sweet. Like to have somebody say, hey man, you helped me like appreciate Star Wars again. Like that's something that I think all of us are just like, oh, thank you. Like, right.
I have the additional anxiety knowing that how so many people have become content creators that when they recognize me and I don't recognize them, I'm just like, hopefully I don't follow you yet. Because if I'm following them and I don't recognize them, then I'm the douche,
Yeah.
One of the things that I really think is cool though is all of us, at least everyone that I met, is the same person. You know what I mean? Like none of these were personas. You always, especially growing up, you're always told, "Oh no, everyone on the internet's fake." Right? That's not how they really are. That's not who they really are. And I haven't run into that yet.
No.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention that because I actually I haven't ran into that either. And I was the one person I was actually concerned that wasn't going to be like that was Straw Hat. I thought he was going to be completely different from how he was on the. I thought he was going to have like less energy like that, but he was genuine himself. Like,
he's just welcoming. Like, dude, that's what's up.
You know what?
Dude, yeah.
From that angle, I could say that he is different. He is nicer. He is so much more warmer.
Even sweeter,
and like the times that the 2 times that we've met in Celebration and at a movie screening, I screamed his name, Jojo, and like it just felt like natural, and he just went with it, Yeah,
I'll tell you another one who is just as sweet, if not cooler, in person. Theories by T. He gave me a hug like we were cousins from like a bygone. I was like, oh my god, this is so nice. Like we walked around for a little bit on the last day. We went to the Siege of Mandalore screening. He was a bro. He got me in because they were not gonna let my ass in. He was like, oh, I'm media, and they were like, you're media, and he was like, yeah, he's with me. He was like, all right, go ahead and go through. And I was like, sorry, but it was so sweet. We were sitting there, and he was just so enthusiastic, so happy to be there. So appreciative of the Star Wars community, and he was like, thank you guys for letting me in. I was like, oh dude, no, like what do you mean let you in? Like everybody's a part of it, come on bro. But no, he's another one that's just so sweet. I'm so glad to have met him in person.
Absolutely. Quick shout out to Michael Smith, who is in the chat for the first time. Hi guys, first time here. Welcome to Dyad and the Force, and welcome to the community. I hope you have a wonderful time. Drinks are in the back. We have Trulies and White Claws and some whiskey for the grown-ups. I'm just kidding.
Didn't we though?
Yeah, we did actually.
Get some Coca-Cola for the kids somewhere down there. It's not cold though, so
Coke Zero, warm.
I don't know, man. I missed that bottle service.
Nice, right? Sheesh.
People look different on screen than in person. Pep, it's all good. I wonder who did any. I don't think I ran into anybody that looked different. I know that they looked 3-dimensional, but largely, within my view, they looked the same. Did anybody look any different to you guys?
I had a few tell me that I was shorter than they were expecting, which that's fair.
I guess.
Like, somebody was like,
"Did you give him a General Kenobi?" Then
no, it was just I was a little sore being told I was short, so I was like, "All right, bro, get out of my face." Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, they were just like, "Dude, I could have sworn you were like 6'2", and I was like, "Well, I'm not." So Want to talk about something else now? I mean, like, this is your cue. This is your cue to. This is your cue to change the subject, buddy.
Listen, as a fellow Hobbit, I'm almost glad. No, I am glad that we were, you know, of the same stature, because of all the people I've met in real life, Choco, Camilla, or Bariqua Wookie, they are towering, and I feel like a hobbit. And so when I met you in real life, I was like, oh my gosh, finally someone who's me.
5 foot kings, 5 foot whatever kings. Yeah, that's how we do it, man.
Yeah,
it's okay. You could say that was my inspiration for continuing to work hard at my content creation, because I want to be I want to be so successful in content creation, because I don't want people to look at me like, you're only 5'7". Yeah, and I got 1 million followers, buddy. So what you got? Nah, I'm just playing. It's fine. It's actually not that much of a sore spot. It's what it is.
Shout out to B Dazzler in the chat. Hello, Brooke.
Hey.
Brooke.
Hi, Brooke.
Dazzler _ gang.
It was good seeing you too.
Yeah.
All of Brooke's cosplays were on point and incredible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Handmade stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm in awe at like her creativity and like ability to just make stuff out of stuff. I don't have that. Like, I can look up tutorials and like put stuff together, but I don't know. It's not creative, you know?
I ain't doing that. You better than me.
So check out Far Far Away Factory for sure.
farfarawayfactory.com. I used to have an ad, but I have to remember to set it up, but you guys can see it here.
I got to do the meme where I'm like,
All right.
Apparel, jewelry, accessories, stickers, and what does that say? It's reversed for me.
And
apparel, jewelry, accessories, stickers, and prints.
Prints. Okay, I thought it looked like butts, but you know that would still be on brand.
Can we say congratulations, Brooke, for 2 articles about your cosplay?
Yes.
Right? Good for you. Nice.
Congratulations, Brooke, for that. The was it the vigilante Mandalorian crossover
really
costume? It was
Mandalorian. Was there a name?
Vigilorian, I believe.
Vigilorian.
I believe that's the name that she has on one of the servers, and I think that's what she's going for. Shout out to Harith Productions. I feel like for the most part we were around the same height. Yeah, for the most part. There were a couple of outliers, including Choco for sure. And DePaul.
Yeah, I thought a lot of people was like, you are taller than I expected. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to slouch down? I don't know.
We also got to hang out with Mama DePaul. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. She's
doing
so better.
Sweet. That's good. I was just about to ask.
COVID. Yeah. She's recovered. So
good.
I'm staying away from her because I ain't trying to get sick. But yeah, she's recovered.
Right.
All right, people.
Dude, it's wild that I didn't get COVID. I came back and I felt like absolute garbage. Thought for sure I had COVID. Took all these tests and I tested negative every single time. And I was like, and then I felt better the Wednesday after I felt like I was like, wait, like it's like I sweated it out. And then by the time it came around to Saturday, I didn't even have like a cough or anything. I was just like, I'm fine. That was weird. That was really weird. So I still I was like, well, I mean, keeping up my streak.
That's your first time flying, right?
It was my first time flying, and it was across the country. So
I wonder if it's jet lag.
It might have been. I did feel like absolute garbage. I know my buddy had the flu shortly before I left for LA. So it might have been a very late manifestation of the exposure to that too. Either way, I would say that I got incredibly lucky. I had some people tell me, "Are you getting tested?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting tested." What? Yeah. No. Okay. But no, I'm glad because like I got family members, older family members that hang around me a lot. So I kind of isolated myself until I knew for sure, or at least as much as I could find out on my own that I was okay. And before I met with my grandma and everything, I made sure that I was okay. So I somehow managed to dodge that bullet.
That's why you got to do what I did. Just get COVID a month beforehand
True.
And you'll be sitting pretty.
True. Yeah, that was my buddy. My buddy who was with me got COVID like 2 weeks before, and I'm sitting there like, well, I'm glad you got it now, because if this was like the night before, I would have been like, brother, I'm not sitting next to you on that plane.
I have to ask though, is that how it works? You just develop antibodies for it?
Go ahead, Choco.
You're unlikely to get the same strain again, and whatever popular strain is happening is likely going to be the same. So, and like when you get your shots and you get your booster, you'll need to get another booster in another 6-8 months, something like that, for whatever new strain is going to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my general understanding is similar to that. It's like if you get it. If you're worried about going on a trip 2 weeks from now and you get COVID 3 weeks from that trip, and you feel better by the time you come around, like the odds of you getting another form of COVID after you get over that one is extremely low, and you're pretty much kind of, I don't want to say completely immune because that wouldn't be correct, but like you wouldn't have to, I don't think you'd have to worry about it for quite a while.
I would like to add one caveat.
Please do. I'm not a doctor. I should say I am not a doctor.
I live in Southern California, so what would be going around locally is also. I just mean like next year. That's probably not going to be a viable option if I'm going to London. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm sure are evolving along a different path, just like the latest generation of Pokemon. You know,
yeah, depending on the schedule of my boosters, I'm hoping that it lines up with getting one like at least a month or 2 months before London. Agreed. Which is to answer Dobbs' question, are you going to London Celebration? I am for sure going to London Celebration. Already budgeted for it and ready to go, and I do believe Choco is also confirmed, double confirmed, triple confirmed.
Not double and triple, but single.
I'm going to try.
I will be able to move, heaven and earth to get there. I have a spouse to plan for as well, which makes certain things twice the cost. So things that I can guarantee, it's a lot more moving parts. 2 plane tickets, 2 jobs to get time off from, and
I will not be guilted for being single.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
You do you, man.
Hey, I'm on the same boat with Choco, but and add a 5-year-old, she'll be 6 by that time. But still, so I'm like, yeah. I mean, if it's in the cards. Absolutely. I don't think the financial portion of it would be an issue. It's just more of a make sure everything, all the passports and jobs and all that stuff like that. And by that time, we'll have moved into our new home.
Ooh.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
congratulations.
Thank you. It's been 2 years in the making. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
I mean,
how you been working?
If everything works out well, and again, I don't want to keep bringing up false hope, but if this TikTok pulse thing goes how I'm hoping it does, maybe none of us will have to worry about taking time off from work this time next year.
Hey.
That is the dream, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just keeping like a really close. It's supposed to actually launch this month sometime for people with, I think it's starting off at 100K, and I think eventually they'll start working their way towards like lower, but it's like there's a lot of caveats, and I don't even fully understand it just yet. But I saw that 50-50 ad split, and I said, "Damn, that would be really nice."
Right.
So we'll see.
Catching up with the chat really quickly. Brooke says butts. I can arrange that. So look out for butts on farfarawayfactory.com. Michael Parson, even though it's probably too late to address this, said he's got to go, but just want to say again, you all have impacted me in how I do TikTok. Hopefully, I can be like you guys one day. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate that sentiment. And I hope you have a wonderful night or the rest of your day, wherever you may be. Let's see here. Juju got COVID again just before he went to the Lightyear premiere.
Yeah, that day.
I would have been almighty stale. He handled that like a champ.
He was pissed. he was said, "I'm pissed." He said this was the one red carpet he was looking forward to. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, I saw Stoobs there.
Pretty much at the door. You're like, bro, come on, man.
Right. And yeah, Stoobs was there. She was looking great. She did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for them. They're doing such a great job.
Absolutely. Everyone's doing a great job with what they're doing so far. I mean, the dream, right, is that this armada, this flotilla of Star Wars TikTok creators rises and overtakes the current I'm not gonna say it. Just the people that don't deserve to be there.
Can we get into that, by the way? That was a good segue. Can we get into that, actually?
Yes.
I feel like we were skirting around it the last I was like, nah, I really want to talk about certain stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what we've been talking about, I switched to this topic because what we've been talking about is largely, in part with checking up with the fandom, ourselves and our friends, and everyone's plans for London. I guess I can also echo Choco's status is that it's only one confirmation simply because we don't have celebration tickets. So I've already got the accommodations and the flight budgeted, not gotten, but
right.
It's in the cards for me at the very least, and I'm excited to meet everyone across the pond because we met a lot of people in Celebration, but there's a lot more across the way. And Theories by T, where Tyrell was like the first one that I think that I met that was from there, if I'm not mistaken. So let's talk about it. Star Wars fandom checkup. What is the current discourse surrounding Star Wars? I'm pretty sure it has largely to do with our Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, so just to kind of break the ice, because I haven't really spoken about it much on TikTok. I actually haven't made a lot of TikToks because I've just been so taken aback by just the amount of really bad takes, like really bad faith stuff that's been getting spread around, and it's just unfortunate. There's certain things that it's just strange to get so upset that something that you imagined in your head didn't get made in the way that you imagined it, and so everything goes out the window. It's such a weird concept. I don't understand how people can think that way,
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. And we went from, and people kind of pointed it out early on, and I should have been a little more realistic about it, but I remember when the first Obi-Wan teaser came out and everybody was just utterly excited and happy, and that was all I really saw. People kind of whined about the Grand Inquisitor, but that was like, and honestly, I felt like that was like a minor thing that was like a little bump. I didn't really care that much, and it wasn't really like negative or toxic or anything. People were just like, why does he look different from... That's an honest thing. It's whatever. It wasn't until the show actually came out that I was like, this is what I was kind of worried about. A lot of takes that, it's not even that you disagree. That's fine. If you went in expecting something else and that's the type of thing that you like, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong, because I would be wrong to do so. But it's how you go about it, and it's how you're portraying that argument of, like this ruined. This was the final straw, and I'm simply done. Like, why wasn't Anakin in armor in the opening scene of episode 1? I'm done with this show. I'm done with this franchise for the 5th time. And it was like, all right, well, and what hurt me the most is people with much bigger platforms using it to even further that. Like it's like it keeps people on TikTok and on YouTube like just using that to keep sowing this. Oh, I've had it. Like you had this much time. How did you not know that this was? I finally I was just like, I'm so done. I came this close to making an actual video about it, but I still don't want to have to deal with it. And it's like because I just don't. I don't feel like it, but I also want to. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I mean it happens both ways too. I mean, I just got a comment on my Kenobi episode 4 video that said weakest episode, unfollow, and I'm just like, okay, so the fan exists where if it's not 100% in line with them, like they cannot handle discourse at all.
Yeah,
there are people who don't handle discourse well, and then there are those who just can't take it. Even though my overall sentiment was weakest, not in all bad.
Right, not saying it's awful.
Yeah.
So I will say something about what you just said. Yes, you're 100% correct on the fandom. Some of the fandom can't take it with us is 100% with them, but at the same time, I think that some people are so like worn out from the discourse and the negativity that they see so much of it, so they're expecting any critique or criticism is negative, and that's not what it is. It's actually, if you know how to critique something or give some constructive criticism over a review of something that you didn't agree with or like, but hey, I liked it, but I just didn't. It was weird to me. So it's like they need to understand that it's okay to criticize stuff, but not to attack somebody for the criticism. And I get where they come from, because honestly, when I first it kind of reminds me when I first saw JJ Cat Lady, and I thought she was bashing on Star Wars. My first saw her content ever, and I was like, and I did a stitch with her or the thing, and I ended up start watching her stuff again. I was like, oh, you're not bashing Star Wars. And it's because I was so she was actually you're not bashing The Last Jedi or the Rise of Skywalker. You're just critiquing it. And I had so much negativity on my For You page about it, about the hate. So I was like just expecting it. So I had to step back myself, and so I'm thinking that's what is happening too with a lot of people. They're just getting burnt out. They think so much negativity and so much toxicity out there amongst the fandom, and there are some of the negativity people out there, but it sucks. So I get where they're coming from, but it's still not okay.
It very much swallowed our own community to an extent, where like people got so tired of seeing endless criticism that when you see an actual legitimate and honest and respectful critique, your first response is to be like, dude, I'm so done with all of this. But it's not, I don't really want to blame him either, because it's like, I get it. Like I get it. Like you see I've seen 10 before yours that actually was that. So forgive me if I think yours automatically is the same. It's sad. And it's also even though the people, even us reacting to that negatively, is also the fault of negative creators who talk about it, because it's like you're the reason that we can't distinguish the two a lot of the time anymore. Like you're the reason that it's hard for us to talk in good faith about any of this stuff, because we don't know if you're discussing this stuff in good faith or not. So
and then I want to specifically address the soups one, because I see that popping up as people thinking that Star Wars Facts Guy was bashing anyone who has criticism of the show, and that is not it at all. It was very specific. And having seen Soup's videos for 2 years, when you see what someone likes and doesn't like, and you can draw conclusions from all of that data, that's more what it was about. But it's, I think there needs to also be a big thing about tempering expectations. Not saying you can't expect something to be good, but I just mean expectations as if you are watching something waiting for it to be Mephisto so much that you miss the plot.
Yeah.
You don't even know what happened, but like that fly was Mephisto. I know it. That was a real thing that happened. That is not a joke or exaggeration.
Yeah.
People thought a fly was Mephisto.
Yeah.
Are you lying?
Oh no! Well, I blame WandaVision for like 75% of this BS because every single week it was here's my and it'll be YouTubers. Here's my 15-minute video on why this specific plant was Mephisto, and people will eat it up. And when it ended and Mephisto wasn't a thing, everybody kind of just sat there doing the John Travolta meme where. So I blame WandaVision for most of that.
No, but it's absolutely true. And so there was this expectation, especially when it comes to Obi-Wan, that this was the whole show was just going to be Obi-Wan and Anakin. And I'm like, I didn't get that from anything. Like, did you see a different trailer? Because the first trailer only had Vader breathing. I don't know where you got he'd be the main character.
Yeah.
We saw like an arm get put on. In all the interviews, like Moses Ingram was right there in the mix of it. So then, like, if that's the case, you shouldn't also be surprised that she gets a lot of screen time.
Like, why are you upset that she's in it so much? From the beginning, they've kind of established her as one of the major antagonists of the film. Like, Darth Vader is like the big boogeyman here, but in terms of like constantly disrupting the protagonist, Reva is definitely like the spearhead there. And I think that's deliberate. Like, the cold open is more than likely her. She's more than likely in that group of kids that's running away in the cold open. But yeah, I what was I gonna say? In terms of like the whole the video that Soups and people who share kind of the similar discussion like as Soups, like you see a lot of comments and it'll be like they automatically assume like you said, like it's not an attack on Soups, it's a criticism or critique, I would even say, of the points he's making. And this isn't an attack on anybody. This is us responding to what we believe is not really a full all-around take on how you're supposed to be looking at these types of shows. And like I had one comment that was like, oh, like, well, if you're gonna attack Soups on this, then why don't you attack Star Wars theory on it, because he's doing the same thing? And I'm like, I got an issue with everybody doing this. It's annoying. If that came across my For You page, I would have done the same thing on that. That's the whole point of this. So I don't.
I kind of didn't watch that Star Wars theory thing, just for that purpose, because I don't give them the time of day. Nothing. I have nothing personally against him. It's just I saw a quick clip on my For You page, and like, what is going on? Is he back on here? And when he said it has to be perfect, I'm like, I said, I'm not even gonna really interact with this, because why? No, it doesn't. Star Wars has never been perfect. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect film, a perfect series, a perfect movie. Perfection is basically your opinion, your perspective. So to say that something's perfect, like, I think a steak is beautiful. A ribeye is the perfect steak. Some probably think I hate steak. So
for the record, I agree with you. I think the ribeye is the best. Is the best steak.
We're gonna have to disagree on that one.
Okay. Can I ask a black question?
Yeah.
How do you cook your steak?
Okay, so I grill it, or either I grill it or cast iron.
Okay, and to what quality?
Oh, you talking about like the type, like
temperature,
medium rare.
So it's either medium well or medium.
Okay.
I don't do well done. I used to. I grew up in a family that told me to cook that well done, because they were like, "Oh, tapeworm's gonna grow in your body," and they used to scare me with that. And as I got older, I'm like, wait, why am I eating like an igneous rock right now? I ain't eating this. Hey, get my stuff medium, bro. Now, there's a limit to it. I'm not gonna eat it like medium rare. I don't do that. But like I do need some sort of juiciness to it that ain't like charcoal, I would prefer not to. Like anytime I get a steak now, if I'm not feeling too adventurous, I'll get it like medium. But if I feel like getting like true, I'll get like medium well or something like that. It's like but yeah. To answer your question,
I used to think I loved A1 steak sauce,
right?
And it turns out I hate it. But I was eating leather my entire life.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until 20. I was like 20, where I was like, you know what? Let's go medium this time, because that was same my household. Well done. Everything's well done. If I see an ounce of pink, I'm sending it back. And you can't just heat it up. Make me a new one. Like that's what.
Make me a new. Yep.
And so yeah, we grew up eating shoe leather. And when I was 20, I was like, I'll go medium this time. And I was like nervous. I had butterflies, and I was like, oh my god, what have I been doing?
This is what I've always wanted. Because like you look at like TV shows and stuff, and you're like, why does this steak always look so much better than the one I be getting? And like I'll tell you what converted me when I was watching The Matrix, and I was watching Cypher eat the steak in The Matrix, and I was like, damn, that steak looks good. And I was like, why is pink in the? He ain't eating no rock. And my mom was like, well, that's because he gonna have tapeworm. I was like, man, maybe I want a tapeworm. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe I want a tapeworm. So that was the beginning of my fall. But no, back to what I was. It's sad. It is sad that that's what we've come to, where it's like a lot of people showing their ass right now when it comes to this kind of stuff. And it's like, dude, like, are you upset? Like, here's the most BS excuse I've ever heard for criticism of this show. Oh, the pacing. It's like, dude, pacing isn't a thing. You don't hate the pacing. You don't know what pacing is. Like,
keep using that word.
I don't think that means what you think it does. No. Were you actually upset because of the writing and the pacing, or were you just upset that Obi-Wan and Anakin didn't have a flashback wearing clone armor? Like, be honest, because if that's what you're really kind of bummed out about, and that's what you kind of wanted, I kind of want to see that too. That's cool. Like, I won't be mad at all. I'll be giddy just like everybody else. But like, why don't you just come out and say that instead of trying to hide behind buzzwords like, oh, the writing is bad? Or,
I have a solution for that, but we'll get into it when we talk about episode 4.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what you just said though, really is my biggest thing. Is like, there's people you're talking to, and the words that they're saying, everyone wants their thought on it to be so objective that they're right. When for me, like, I have criticisms, and I'm like, no, this is a stupid nitpick that I notice. It bothers me, but it's not like, I'm not going to try to hide it. I actually had. And had a great discussion with someone where they stitched them and they were mad. Episode 4 had it didn't move anything forward, and there was no character development, and it was just bad. And I was like, well, let me ask you a question. Was Obi-Wan, was he the same person at the end of this episode as he was in the beginning of this episode?
Yep.
Well, no. Like, okay, so something happened, right? Like,
could you consider that people grow? Like, is that the maybe hear me out, that's the purpose of the show? He goes from depressed to not so depressed at the end of each episode.
Yeah. But what ends up happening is we had a great discussion, but I first had to break through this trying to be so superlative, right? People will make their arguments so hyperbolic that they become wrong, like just factually wrong. And you can't have a discussion with them. But if someone's what he got to was, I didn't like that his growth didn't feel natural in this episode. That's a great critique. That's valid. That's awesome. Yeah. And I would love to talk to someone about that. But don't tell me nothing happened. The plot didn't change. Yeah, we've already, for sure, because that's not true. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know it was a black question, but I'd like to revisit the steak thing. because a lot of the chat is chiming in. If you have not had Wagyu A3 to A5,
oh my god,
fillet,
yes.
then you have not had steak.
But
So,
that's not a steak. That's an orgasm.
Exactly.
Oh damn!
You was not lying.
Damn.
You was not lying. So I gotta tell a story. So I went to Vegas for a business trip one time, and when I go to Vegas, I look for restaurants that have Wagyu A1, Japanese A1, A1 to A5. And I found a place, and I was like, all right, let me get that. Let me get a 10 ounce. They was like, okay, and they went back and was like, the chef wants to know, you sure you want a 10 ounce of that? I was like, yeah. Oh, they come in like 5, but you want a 10 ounce? They said, yeah. And I said, okay. They came back again. They said, we got to ask one more time. Are you sure? Because a 5 ounce, for every ounce, it's $150. I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense now. I was wondering why you was asking so many times. Because the steak, when I tried it, 5 ounce would have been like $200 and something, almost $300 for one little 5 ounce steak. I'm like, so a 10 ounce almost came out to like, I think like 700 to 1,000, almost close to 1,000. I'm like, God. Yeah, no, I'm not doing $1,000 steak.
It's good as hell too. Damn,
it was delicious. It literally melted in your mouth. Like if you have no teeth, lose your tongue and the roof of your mouth, and it's gone.
Did they have the Japanese Kobe plaque from the certification? Because they may be charging upwards of $200 per 5 ounce for like an A1, which is the lowest quality Wagyu.
Really?
Yeah. So you have to.
They said that it was 5. A5.
A5. It might. Yeah, that's the highest one. I definitely look out for the certification from the Kobe Beef Association. They could always, fake that stuff, but it's good to know that the class of Wagyu that you're eating. Primarily because Wagyu means Japanese beef. It doesn't mean anything other than Japanese beef. That's why they have the classifications. And I do want to address X-Core Gamer Skills. Not all of us have a car payment to spend on dinner. Listen, this is just a conversation on my favorite steak, and DePaul said it was a ribeye for him, but like the best steak I've ever tasted was an A3 Wagyu, and it was like a small little square off of a fillet cut, and that was just heaven in my mouth. But going back to the chat, we have a lot of medium rare people, medium well all the way. Cal grew up eating hockey pucks. X-Core rare, 3 minutes per side. See, the only time I'll go like rare is if it's like a cacciatore, or if it's like something that is meant to be like around that style. But I don't know if I can. It's weird to have some portion of the steak cooked and then completely raw. So I can never go rare.
It depends on how you do it. In my humble opinion, I like to do a sous vide if you can, or if you reverse searing. We get some. We eating good over here.
We souse vide. That's what I'm calling it. We souse vide the steak, and then we baste it in butter and rosemary as we're searing it. And that's really good to do. Yeah. I love this steak convo. I medium well. St. Pat turned into a caveman. I medium well.
Why did that remind me of I Am Weasel from
isn't rare steak cold? So a lot of people, it may be, I mean, depending on the restaurant you're getting it from, if it's a rare cold steak, it's a pretty bad restaurant. But all steaks are brought to room temperature before they're cooked so that it's even. So you shouldn't have a rare cold steak.
True.
Yeah, you still have to bring up the internal temperature to kill any potential bacteria or whatnot, and then sear the sides and then get out of there. Also, you want a nice gradient. I'm not a fan of when it's like a hard shell on the outside and then just like, but
I saw a question earlier that asked what are your thoughts on Star Wars theory, but I think DePaul answered our questions there. I think I largely don't watch his videos anymore. I used to be a huge fan, but I think he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that said if it's not perfect, it's bad, and I'm just not behind that thought at all.
Me neither.
I don't know how you can say that about. I don't know how anybody can say that about Star Wars. I mean, there has been so many. You guys done videos about this. So many things that are messed up about it with the Force kick and just mistakes that you can see in Star Wars, and it makes it better. Oh, I didn't realize that as a kid. Now as an adult, I can see that, and I've been watching so much. Oh, okay, it's still cool. I'm like,
yeah.
It just
a stormtrooper hit his head in A New Hope, and then they added a sound effect. Like that's what I love. You know what I mean? That's the type of thing that makes it.
Taika Waititi, in his most recent interview, had the perfect quote to describe Star Wars, and he was talking about how he's in the writing process for his Star Wars movie. During this interview, he said, Star Wars doesn't take itself seriously, but it believes in itself. So when you have these moments where you can, absorb the levity and be like, oh, that's really funny, or Luke jumping on a trampoline coming back up in Empire Strikes Back, you see that stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, really? But then the story enters this kind of seriousness dramatic mode where you're suddenly in the feelings and you care about Order 66, you care about these characters and whether or not they're going to live or die. And so I love that quote where Star Wars is camp, but at the end of the day, when you break down these stories, they're very meaningful stories, but they're still camp, and we're gonna have those moments.
I think there's no better viewing of it being camp than watching what K2SO does all throughout Rogue One. Like always, there's a heavy, meaty moment, and then we're rescuing you, congratulations, and as he slams you on the ground, or do you know that wasn't me? They always have to bring back that levity, and I think they succeed at it.
Absolutely.
But I will say, as you go through TikTok or other things scrolling through, you'll often see the little videos for SWTOR where there's people fighting, or you'll see people doing complex choreography, just two people and you'll see a lot of comments this is way better than this is so much better than this.
Oh yeah.
And I think those people are serious. I think and you don't have any story, you don't know who the people are, you don't know why they're fighting. I think that's what certain people just want, and I think story gets in the way for them, and that's why I fully think that we need to have a show that's called Star Wars Battles, and that's all it is. We get 3 to 5 minute just battles, and you could do it throughout different eras. You could show certain Clone Wars battles, and then maybe create comics or books or something like that gives you the story surrounding that. Star Wars Battles. That's my pitch.
I like that.
I'm down.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I've spoken about this on Twitter and not as much on TikTok, and I talked about it a little bit on YouTube, but I've spoken about Star Wars theory plenty of times before, and I nothing against him personally. Tremendous amount of respect for what he's been able to do. Grow his channel in the way he has. I believe him when he says he loves Star Wars. But like with most things, when you have a platform that big and it is very substantial, in fact, I didn't really realize how big his pull actually was until I actually went to his channel and saw. I was like, oh my god, this dude can reach across the corners of the globe. There are people in every country that know who he is and loves what he does, and when you have that much power, I think it's your responsibility to handle it responsibly. I don't think your place is to because a lot of the vibe I get is you say, I'm upset at this should happen. this ruined it. And it's like you don't realize that you're talking to like 50,000 people at any one time you're saying that. And when it comes back to you, you can't even say I didn't know, because it comes back to you a lot. Like, hey, like some of your people need to be told to stop. Like, you need to be reeled in a little bit. And people will approach you in the most respectful way possible most of the time. I don't doubt that there are some people that are a little more hostile when they address this. But if your first response is to get defensive over it and say, well, I didn't tell them to do that. Nobody told you to. Nobody said you told them to go over there and say that. But now that you're aware that people are doing this in your name pretty much, then now you have a responsibility to kind of go out there and say, hey guys, I need you guys to chill out.
Hey, are we talking about Star Wars theory or somebody else?
Yeah. I'm
you sure? Because this sounds very familiar to somebody else. I'm not gonna say his name, but
and
put him on blast.
I'm not, all right, you know what? And look, and that wasn't. It wasn't. It was completely unintentional. I will say, like, it's a whistleblow type technique, and
like
I have long had an issue with that style of operating, and the longer and the more I see it, the more frustrated I get, and so it is your responsibility to address it. And he put out a tweet a little while ago. He must have been hearing it from there was a couple of days ago. A lot of people went in on him. And he came out and he was like, everybody should, along the lines of everybody should love what you love and respect it. And I was like, okay, all right, well, that's a start, but do you mean it? Or are you just saying that because you got lit up on Twitter today and you don't want to deal with it anymore? Like I'm not trying to hold your feet to the fire. You know, I don't really have anything to passionately hold your feet to the fire over, but it's just like, dude, like I see this stuff and you're not doing a lot to stop it from happening. And these are your fans. Like when people come to our channels and ask us, have you heard of Star Wars theory? Like they are fans of you. Like you are enormously popular within the grander Star Wars community. So why not? I don't know. I just, no. It's incredibly frustrating. I want to talk to him, to be honest with you. I really do.
No, it'd be nice to have a conversation with him. I mean, at the end of the day, being a public figure, being an influencer, being in that position, there are some inherent responsibilities. Making sure that you do not incite anything with your words, and when you do incite something, you are held accountable for it. You're going to people are going to say, "Oh, it's because I heard it from him." And you might say, "Oh, I didn't tell them to," but they heard it from you anyway, and they chose to take action on their own. They have their own agency. So the best thing you can do is to protect yourself and maintain a level of responsibility where, hey, the kind of fandom and community that you want to cultivate is something that you're going to have to be aware of. And you're going to have to be mindful of your thoughts, because they can betray you.
Sure. And I've even had this happen to myself, where someone came after me. So I made a video and clapped back just like a year ago, and people that followed me did go over to that person's page and were making fun of. I mean, that person's take was absolute garbage and wrong in like a lot of ways, but they were making fun of that person had like a lisp and stuff like that, and they're making fun of the way he talked. And I'm like, no,
don't do that.
I had to make a video of like, no, there's no place for personal attacks or anything like that, especially someone who grew up with speech impediments. If you say something and like you all said, if it incites stuff, I didn't mean for that to happen. And I wasn't comfortable with it once it did. Yep. So I did something about it. Yeah.
It's like I didn't tell him to do that, and yet somehow I still feel responsible when I see, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like the number one reason why you would, if not to be a good person, at the very least to protect yourself. Because like if for no other reason than to be like, let me make sure that this doesn't come back on me because I didn't tell them to do this and I'm not trying to get some heat for enable, like even if you're not doing it out of the goodness of your heart, at the very least do it to be like, hey guys, I got a business to run. But then you get into that, it's like, well, maybe you want it, maybe you wanted to maybe you want to do stuff like that and kind of like non-verbally sick people on stuff.
And see, that's I don't know if this is gonna segue into this, but with what you said makes me really wonder if people just do that discourse or that controversial topics and saying things just for the views and likes. I mean, and just to stir the pot so they can do it. I mean,
absolutely,
they do.
Monetizing hatred is what they, that's their business model.
And I made a clickbait video recently about Kathleen Kennedy, and I said the exact opposite, but I framed it so that you would think it was going to go in on her and then do a swerve. And that video, that was a YouTube video, and it started to take off. And I was starting to get flooded with comments. The comments didn't even match the video. They didn't even watch the video.
No.
And I was like, do I leave it up and make a few dollars? No.
Oh, no.
No. So I put it off. I was like, no, I don't. No.
Oh, I've kind of hijacked the strategy. I just do it in a positive way. Like it'll be like the truth about Lucasfilm Star Wars, and I will drop the fattest, hardest truth ever, talking about what my thoughts on and they'll be like, this isn't what I thought it would be. It's not supposed to be what you thought it was. Stick around and find out my thoughts, brother. Like I will use that algorithm against people. Like I'll just use it in a completely positive way. I will use your own weapon against you. And that's my thing. I hope that's okay. That's
actually perfectly fine. I mean, honestly, that's called manipulation of. What's the martial art that does that?
I think it is a term. Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
Is that's like verbal aikido?
Yeah, there you go. When you use
redirection
energy against it. Yeah.
Redirection.
You gotta be like water,
Just flow.
Spike taught me that.
Oh yeah, that's like Aikido or Tai Chi. It's just like you're using the momentum against them.
Yes, yes. And so, but no, use that, and then if it's for good, then great, but I'm talking about like people who are like, oh, I know that people don't like Kathleen Kennedy. I know that people was expecting to see Darth Vader. This wasn't what they expected. So I'm gonna just go on that, write those tailcoats and the tag along and stir the pot and get these views and rally up and everything. That, man, get the hell out of here with that, man. Seriously.
And somebody like Theory, and really any of the bigger Star Wars YouTubers, they're at a level now where they don't even need to use that strategy.
No.
They could put out a video called like walking down the street, no capitalization or nothing, and they'll get their views. They'll meet their quota or whatever they're trying to get. It's like, hey man, like you have that following now. So yeah, like it after a while, the more you see it, the more you're kind of like, I don't know, man, like, are you trying to send your boys over and or is that something that you legitimately had no knowledge of and feel like you're not responsible for? So I don't know. That's something that I'd like to have a candid conversation with him. He seems like he'd at least, I don't know. I haven't seen all of the conversation with Choco and him. I don't know how did it even go.
Oh,
we've spoken some offline as well.
Okay.
And
I don't want to like air out any, like if it's in private or in confidence, I don't want to poke around on it. I mean,
yeah. Well, we would be remiss if we ran out the rest of this episode without talking about Obi-Wan episode number 4.
Okay, yes.
I gotta hear your guys' thoughts.
I was getting there. First and foremost, though, before we get into it, I know, Choco, I just wanted to answer Jeff Cacciatore's question. Do you think Star Wars stories age and will continue using the time definition of baby and AB? And I think yes, they are going to. We also, let's see here. Someone asked, and I'll get your guys' opinion on this after our episode 4. Someone asked, just so you guys can have time to work up an idea. Someone asked what your idea was, because last week we talked about a FACPOV and doing our own. So just think about this while we're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4. What would be a story from a certain point of view that you guys would write in your own FACPOV book? But moving on to Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4, a lot of people already know mine and Choco's opinions from our watch along. We've largely talked about it here and there. So the floor is yours, DePaul and Josh. What did you guys think of episode 4?
Ryan, you want to go first? Oh, okay, I'll go first. I actually really enjoyed the episode. I liked the very many powerful callbacks to Jedi Fallen Order. Being in the Inquisitor or Vader's castle, it was really cool. It wasn't Vader's castle. It was the Inquisitor's
Fortress
base, right?
Inquisitorius, yeah.
Fortress Inquisitorius, yeah, that's what it was. It was really cool seeing him in the hallway. I really liked how, like, during that entire episode, Obi-Wan was kind of like becoming more and more confident in combat. I did notice immediately that he was wearing the same robes that he was wearing in Revenge of the Sith, which I love. I love how worn down and stuff they are. It made me very happy to see that again. O'Shea Jackson Jr. I know a lot of people were thinking Quinlan Vos. I never really thought he was going to be Quinlan. I was like, nah, I think people were just kind of hoping because they name dropped him and he hadn't appeared yet. But he was really good in it. I like how we're seeing more and more, I don't want to say rebel cells, but what could eventually become kind of rebel cells. Like I like the snow speeders. I was like, oh, I did like the Leonardo DiCaprio. Ooh, get the snow speeder. It's really fun. I really enjoyed. The only thing that I wasn't a big fan of was the time. It felt like it could have gone another 15 minutes. And that's not really like the most damning criticism ever. I feel like I'm in the minority when I say that I genuinely did enjoy the episode. It was heart-wrenching seeing the youngling. That kind of, I was kind of shocked that they went that far. I was like, oh wow, like this is child murder. Like this is actually, like, I know it happens, but like, yeah, like a kid.
That's a dead kid there.
That's a dead kid. Like, oh my god. Like, oh my god.
So in that regard, answer this question from the chat. What was more jarring to see, Tara Sinube or the youngling?
Tara Sinube, as somebody who enjoyed the episode he was in with Ahsoka, it did kind of make me sad because I said this on Twitter, but like I always assumed that he didn't get out because nobody talked about. I was like, I kind of assumed that he didn't make it out because he was almost exclusively at the Jedi Temple. But seeing him was still kind of a damn. Like it just made you go, damn, they got my man's. The kid was more of a train because I wasn't expecting them to show that. And I think Obi-Wan's face perfectly encapsulated my own, where you just go, oh man, like you're just like, oh my god, really? Like on display? Really? And so it was pretty jarring, and it kind of made me kind of take a step back for a second too, because I was just like, I don't know if I would have been able to keep going after that. I think the reason they did that was to kind of give Obi-Wan that extra motivation to kind of like, I really got to save Leia, because like I'm looking at this kid, this poor child, and I'm gonna use that as fuel to save another kid from a possible fate that would likely be something like that too. But all in all, I enjoyed the episode. Vader scared the hell out of me. I think that is I think next to his no was like, that was probably the angriest I had ever seen Vader in the suit.
He had a strut coming in.
My man walked in like he was finna clear out that room. Like you notice the stormtroopers behind him were like, let's kind of walk a little slower. and him, and like when it just cuts to him, and you can tell you can tell he's so angry, and you don't ever see his face. He's just like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh nah, he's doing the McMahon walk. You're like, oh, you were war, and you're like, oh nah.
The McMahon walk.
And so they're doing a really good job encapsulating that fear and that presence that Darth Vader has. Not sure I understand the criticisms of he should have immediately killed Reva. The Darth Vader I know wouldn't. I'm like, well, you know, like the reason why he doesn't, and he's getting ready to, is because there's a method to what she's doing. Like she's like, no, he got away, but I put a tracking device, and he's like, oh, and not only is he going, okay, I'll see how this works out. He's also going, I will use this later. Wink, wink. And it's like, so I totally am on board with how he's being portrayed, and I'm totally on board with how Reva's being portrayed as well. This was a solid episode. I actually enjoyed this one more than episode 2, I think, in my personal opinion. I thought episode 2 was a little, I don't know. I still haven't gotten into it. I don't know. I enjoyed episode 4 more.
I would agree with you on this one. I actually really enjoyed this episode, and like you touched on every point I was going to touch on too. Like the
my bad, man.
No, it's cool. That's what, I mean, it's the episode. If we didn't, it means I didn't watch the damn thing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the tune, that part really. I was like, oh, damn, that just like. I was like, are they actually dead, or is this in stasis, or what? Like, what are they doing? Because it got me thinking, like, from if people haven't seen Rebels, are they using it the same way? They have like they use people that one Jedi in Rebels. How do they still have connection to the Force if they're doing that? If they're able to project the vision out like that? But that portion, I was like, damn, okay. I literally jumped up. And like, oh my god, what is going on? Like, why are these Jedi's here? What's happening? And then just the throwbacks to Fallen Order is, I was like, damn, I gotta really replay that game because get ready for number 2. And also like just this callback, this episode really was amazing. Seeing little Leia, that got me really thinking too, just how everything works like with the Force. Like, okay, well, if she's able to resist it like that with this dark side Force mind purge, like how does that really work? Because we saw Poe like streaming bloody murder when Kylo did it, like, and Leia's like sitting there like, are we having a staring contest or what? I'm like, what bitch?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, okay.
Staring contest.
So
I'm
exactly. So like around that, I'm like, all right, it's got my brain going a lot more. And like, what's this? What's that? Instead of the, oh, I didn't like that. No, I loved the whole thing. And I really was impressed on, I forget her name, but the one who was impersonating the Imperial
Tala.
Tala, thank you.
Indira Varma's character.
She did a great job with the acting on that one, and just the portrayal of that. The confidence that she put with the
don't play poker with her. Don't,
bro.
You're walking away naked.
Yeah, she's really good.
You will address me as sir. He's like, you. She basically said, "You are my bitch."
Yeah,
Neo, boy.
Sure. Yeah. And, you know, like that's how you're supposed to handle stuff like that too. Just act like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And like people will go along with it. Like walk around like you're getting absolutely BS'd and you're wasting time. And you're like, what's your name? What's your name? What's your rank? I'm the head of this sector. Then I'm your boss. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. You walk in there like you belong there. I honestly, if she could have played it safe and put a captain's badge on her just to make sure, like, let me make sure these fools know who they messing away here. Like, you wouldn't even stop me if I had a rear admiral's badge on here. They should have stolen like an ISB uniform or something. They wouldn't have even tried. Like, let me just let her go through. I ain't gonna say that before they drag me out my bed in the middle of the night.
I am Palpatine's daughter. Like,
I won't question it.
That's some rank right there. Yeah. Like, okay, you do what you gotta do then. Yep. But no, I mean that right there, she did a great performance. She just her whole interaction was amazing on that. So I really love that. Of course, I want to talk about the whole Vader thing. That was one of the most scariest times I saw Vader, and like I love Vader and love how menacing he is. He's one of my favorite Sith lords and dark just in general. But I've never been afraid of Vader until I saw that one. Even the hallway scene, I was like, "Ooh, that's badass Vader."
Yeah,
this one, I was like, I literally was like, I felt like it was the same. I got the same feeling, like if your sibling got all Fs and your daddy coming in the house. And it was like, "Ooh, I gotta get the fuck out of here. They go wash the dishes or something."
Let me act like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, so he don't turn on me next.
and that was the same look that the fifth brother gave, and he's like, "Ooh, shit, she about to die." Ooh, sorry, I cussed. Sorry.
No, it's fine over here.
But yeah, so I had the same feeling. I was like, and I felt the fear. I'm like, bro, do I need to get up and do something? Because this ain't cool. Like, he about to wreck her crap. And I'm like, so the way that Hayden portrayed that, and the way that James Earl Jones brought that voice and everything, like, could you imagine James Earl Jones being his kid and like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh no, good Lord, I'm done.
You were warned. You're like, okay, all right, time to go. But was that actually Hayden in the suit, or was it a body double? Because I'm getting conflicted, like, reports on like exactly how often Hayden is in the suit. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't think we'll ever know. I know that there's at least 2 body doubles, and they're going to be there at different points, you know. And there's like a lady that specializes in Vader movement, and it's not Victoria, surprisingly. I'm certain she could do that job extremely well.
Yeah.
But overall, I love the show. I mean, the episode was great. Looking forward to the next one, but yeah, it was a nice little nod to see the snow speeders. It was cool.
Yeah.
I want to mention like 3 really small things that I loved, but they're like dumb things. Number 1, in the intro, there was a kitchen sink. And that made me laugh so hard because a kitchen sink is part of the debris in Revenge of the Sith. The big thing that flies up and hits. And there's a kitchen sink in there. Number 2, when Leia plays Reva, she's like she does the frustrated hand motion that we all do when you're talking to someone and you're just like, I will squish your face. Like,
yeah,
she does that, and that was so natural. I love that. And then the other thing is when Obi-Wan swims up and he comes in and his clothes are dry. I laughed so hard. I love that. I could just hear Mark Hamill impersonating Harrison Ford being like, "It ain't that type of movie, kid." They're looking at your hair. We're in a lot of trouble. Like, that was the perfect callback to A New Hope. Them getting out of the trash compactor, being completely dry and not messed up, bringing that back is it's so campy and funny. I loved it.
Yeah. It was nice. I got to talk about the Scooby Doo moment with Leia and the trench coat and Obi-Wan. Like, are they really doing this shit?
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're doing it.
Suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. I think we all did
like,
that.
But realistically, like, how else are you? I mean, like, sometimes, like in that moment, like, if your goal is to get the hell up out of there, and you're with the person who's in an Imperial uniform, and you're putting on, like, admittedly a very gruff Imperial uniform, literally just walk like you're supposed to be there. Like, I just, like, I mean, do the best you can, hide her a little bit, but also just keep it moving. Like, I'm sure a few stormtroopers probably looked at that and said, you know what, I ain't even gonna ask. I'm actually confident that a few stormtroopers were just like, you know what, it's not even worth it. We're at one of Vader's headquarters. I'm too scared to even push any buttons. I'm ready to get rotated off the station and go to, like, Alderaan or somewhere nice. I'm just not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna act like I'm smooth, act like I didn't see that. So that at worst, that got a chuckle out of me. This wasn't something that made me go, oh, I that's it.
Exactly.
Shut it down. What is this? Like, this is so no, that was hilarious.
And Josh, I'm sure you're familiar with this. It goes back to one of my favorite things from the Rot's novelization, when Obi-Wan has a hunchback and he's holding Yoda like a dirty baby.
A Jedi baby. Yeah.
Same scene.
Yeah, it's the same energy for sure. That's perfectly within Obi-Wan's character. Like, hey, I'm just gonna act like I'm this crusty old hermit, and we're gonna find a way through this. We're gonna get on this ship and go. So I appreciated it. It was awesome. And Leia, I'll tell you, man, Leia would give the FBI like hell. They'd come in with like the most elite investigator, interrogator, and she would put on this whole performance. And as soon as they call her out on it, she'd be like, I ain't telling y'all. Like, as soon as they out her, she'd be like, I ain't telling y'all. I ain't telling y'all nothing. F12. She's like, she has that energy. And like, Leia is like my soulmate. And it's solidified after this episode. I'm like, hell yeah. Don't tell them cops shit.
I got sad thinking about how Carrie Fisher would be treating Vivian if they had the chance to meet. Like, she would move heaven and hell, move mountains to protect Vivian.
I see Carrie in a lot of her I was just like,
she's perfect.
This is somebody who will grow into Carrie. Like, I truly believe that. Like, this is the Leia that I expect to grow into, the Leia we know in A New Hope. So for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, from episode 1, first time I saw her, I was like, wow, like I could picture her growing into Leia. Like, she looked exactly like how I pictured a young Leia would look. And I've seen the people posting about Millie Bobby Brown playing a potential young Leia, and I do see that too. But like this, Vivian looks like a Leia, and the way she acts, the way she speaks and delivers her lines are like Carrie Fisher-esque. So it's just like, I don't know who, if the same person who does casting for MCU does the casting for Star Wars, but they are killing it so far.
Yeah.
With these choices,
they've done an excellent job with casting. Pretty much since Disney took over, I don't think they've ever made like a casting that I would consider poorly managed. I think everybody's at least solid. I don't think there's any bad castings. Everybody does a good job. Even O'Shea Jackson, I don't even know what he does. Yeah, I mean, like, I know what his character is, but like, I don't know him on the level that I know other characters yet. We've only seen him for one episode, and I'm like, damn, this is a smart, like, this is a smart dude. He's like, bro, why did you bring him here? Why are you here? I am trying not to die right now. Like, this is the energy that would be me. Like, I like to think I'd be a Jedi, but I'd really be O'Shea Jackson. I'd be trying to low-key do good things, but when people jack stuff up, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you know, they put us in like amber prison coffins when they kill us, right? Like, I ain't trying to be like that. That's my dude, man. I like that. And I also like how O'Shea Jackson like is legitimately like a huge nerd, like when it comes to this kind of stuff. Have you seen him on Twitter? He's like, yeah, man, like I love all these games. Fallen Order. He said, I downloaded Dark Forces, right? It was the Kyle Katarn one. He played that one. I was like, damn, he old school. I see you. I see you.
Dark Forces?
Yeah.
Is it Dark Forces? Yeah, he mentioned Dark Forces as a game that he used to play. So I was like,
Valley of the Sith Lords, yeah. You see the speculation online? People like, I think Reva might have been his wife. You're like,
yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
No,
I was like,
wow.
Yeah, I was like, I heard they're Mace Windu's cousins too. Yeah, and Lando's stepfather. Get out of here. Like, two minorities on screen, they must be related,
right?
Like, all right, bro. And literally, it's so annoying.
Took me back to high school. Is that your brother? How about that person? No.
Yep. Y'all look so alike. Yeah, just keep it to yourself, Marianne.
So a couple of things I want to address before we move on to your predictions, as well as your fact povs. Vader wouldn't have snapped her neck immediately. If you remember in Empire Strikes Back, there is a certain admiral who is choked by him, and he lets him go. It doesn't kill him. So Vader's not exactly the most predictable person ever. Like, the way he chooses who dies and who lives is purely based on his whim, and that's it. Like, he I'm surprised in the 2020 comic he lets Ochi like off so easily so many times, and that he had not killed OG yet. I'm just like, OG is so annoying, and if I were Vader, I'd kill him immediately. But you know, there's something charming about OG, I guess, that Vader is just like, whatever. He just doesn't want to deal with it.
The same thing happens in A New Hope too. He chokes the officer. He doesn't kill him. But what does he say in Empire? You have failed me for the last time. That there have been several failures. It's not you failed once. And so yeah, of course he's not going to kill Reva because Inquisitors are a more difficult resource. Stormtroopers, yes, throw them out the window, whatever. Like he eats those for breakfast. But she hadn't technically failed him yet. So,
do I need to read Vader 2015 and 2017 to read 2020? No. I would recommend it.
You need to read them.
Yeah, you need to read them. But 2020 takes place after Empire Strikes Back, so largely just watch Empire Strikes Back and then read this comic run. The last thing I wanna address is the Clone Wars flashbacks, and just really quickly, I think this is Quinlan Voss's way in. I think that at some point Quinlan Voss is going to show up, and they're going to do a psychometry display with something of Obi-Wan's, and it's going to show a flashback of him in the Clone Wars with Anakin, and that's how they do it. Not necessarily like something that just happens. Like, I think using Quinlan Voss's psychometry is a great way to bring him back. Keep the mind share on Cal Kestis and the upcoming Survivor. And and he's gonna move on to, because Survivor takes place after Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna do that, and they're gonna have, you know, Hondo Ohnaka. I smell profit. You know, it's just it's inevitable. X-Core says Quinlan is not going to be in this show. I don't care. I'm going to say he's going to be in this show. I've been saying he's in shows since Mandalorian started, so
he's going to be in the next show. He's going to be in Andor.
Yeah,
he's going to be in the Acolyte.
Yep, he's going to be in the Acolyte too. 200 years before he's probably born, he'll be there.
Yeah. Don't ask me how.
That's true.
Don't worry about it.
He's just, listen, the more I say it, the more I'll be right eventually. You know, but I still think he is going to be in this.
I will say, I have no idea what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes. I have none. I think out of all of the Star Wars shows, I have less of an idea of what's going to happen in these next 2 episodes than I did at any other point in any other show.
Well, that brings us to your predictions.
Had me guessing, yeah.
It brings us to your predictions. What are your guys' predictions?
I think that the next 2 episodes will be the final 2 episodes of the season. That's a hot take. I know I might get canceled for that, but I guess if I had to, I'd say that episode 5 is going to be Obi-Wan. Like, by the end of episode 5, Obi-Wan will have returned to that Zen moment where he'll be ready to not necessarily fight Vader, but he'll be ready to face Vader again.
I'll make it easier for you. I'll make it easier for you. Do you think Qui-Gon is going to appear in 5?
Mm-hmm. No.
You think he's in 6?
You want me? I'll go. I'll go even
6.
further. I'll go in further. I think. Oh, my bad, man. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Was it? My bad. All right. I'm too. Anyway,
go ahead.
I will go now. Okay. I don't think he's showing up in 5. I think he'll try and connect with him in 5 again. He won't. I think either during his inevitable rematch with Vader, or at the end of the show, Qui-Gon is going to actually manifest. I think Qui-Gon's either going to help Obi-Wan in his rematch, whether that be like not necessarily training him, but like guiding him, talking to him, or it's going to be like a bookend to the season, and that's when he'll finally come in and do his scheduled annual Liam Neeson role, 2-minute Liam Neeson role. I don't see him actually making an appearance, not like a physical, but like hearing him or seeing him in episode 5. I think a lot of that will be them getting ready for that final confrontation. I think 5 is going to focus on getting Leia back home. Now that they like have her, I think she's gotten kidnapped like 5 different times in this show now. But I think this is like when they finally get her back to Bail. I think we'll see Bail again. But I do think this will be a moment where like Obi-Wan is like, all right, bye Leia. Now I need to deal with this for the first time, and probably not the last time. Wink, wink, A New Hope. But that's what I think is going to happen.
Not
it's
Liam
Calm Before the Storm episode.
Not Liam Neeson saying he would not. He would only return for big screen, and then he's in Tales of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
we all know
good
he's in
liar.
this.
Yeah, we all know
he's in it. I think that Qui-Gon's going to show. They're going to end the episode 6 with Qui-Gon, with Obi-Wan reaching out to Qui-Gon, and then it's going to be like you don't hear Qui-Gon's Liam Neeson, this Qui-Gon's voice, like, all right, it's time. You're focused again, and you're connected back to the Force, and it's like you're going to hear Qui-Gon's voice talking to Obi-Wan, and it's going to end. It's going to cut off. That's my prediction for the last one. How they're going to have Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon's not going to be in the whole episode. We're not going to see the training of him learning how to be a Force Ghost. It's like boom, you already know he's a Force Ghost. This ain't Naruto. We're gonna show you how to train like that. So no,
right?
Or they drop the 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I will say that I think 5 is going to give us a little bit more insight on what the hell is going on with Reva's backstory. I think we're going to get a little bit more, since we're doing like in my prediction, since there's like a Calm Before the Storm type situation, I think we're going to take some time to develop all these characters. That might include a flashback of some kind. I don't know if that's a certainty. I wouldn't call it a certainty, but I do think we're going to explore each of these major characters we've seen so far a lot more. We might get some more Vader. I think we're definitely getting some Reva. And I think we might even be getting some Obi-Wan and Anakin. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of self-reflecting. And then 6 is going to be, I'm willing to go for it. 6 is going to be entirely the fight. The whole thing is going to be the fight.
You think the whole fight?
It's going to be like it's going to be like Battle of the Bastards and Game of Thrones season 6, where the entire episode, hour-long episode, was just a pitch battle. And it's like, that's the end of the episode. You're like, damn, like you're just going to go out going, whoo, okay.
I know some people thought that this entire series was going to be the rematch of the century.
I know, right? They was waiting for that.
So for me, here's the thing that I want. I can't say that it's going to happen in episode 5, but I need, Obi-Wan got his groove back, right? He brushed all the stank off. He's feeling fresh. He's ready to go. But I want him to do the same thing that in inverse that the Sith did, right? Because essentially the Sith changed, they evolved. The Jedi were waiting for this specific thing, and that didn't come. That's why the Jedi lost. Vader's been reliving this fight in his mind for years. We know that from the comics. We know that from what he did. He's wanting that rematch to happen, and he turns the tables. And I think Obi-Wan has been saying this whole time, I'm not that same guy. I'm not that guy that I was before. And I need Qui-Gon to be the person to tell him, good, you don't need to be better. And I want this to be the first time when they face off that he goes into the Sarisu pose. Yeah. And then he pulls it back and into the Qui-Gon pose, because he isn't that guy anymore. He's the knight that we're going to see in A New Hope. That's what I need to see it. I hope that happens in episode 5, and then we get the fight in 6, and then 6 will have to wrap up. I think Leia's still going to be there, because I think Vader's going to come to where they are prematurely, and then it's going to wrap up dropping Leia off, going back to Luke, and then and we'll get more Emperor, because we need more Emperor.
Awesome. All right, so lightning round before we start to wrap things up. We're over time, but that is okay. We love these conversations. For you guys, we'll start with DePaul. Do you have an idea, if you were to write a FACPOV or from a certain point of view, what would it be?
You know what? I have the books back there, but I haven't even touched them yet. The certain point of view books, and honestly, so if this has been made, I don't know, but I would love the time that R2 and C-3PO was on the barge of Jabba's Hutt. R2's certain point of view going around everything that he's seeing, observing. There's probably some crazy crap on there that you've seen. Like, what the hell? So I would love a certain point of view from R2. It's like, what is going on on Jabba's barge?
That's pretty cool.
I like that.
Josh.
I would like, before they actually did like an Alderaan point of view type situation where we get to see the final moments of Alderaan getting absolutely atomized, that would have been mine. I would have loved to see like a dude on his final, like dealing with some mundane thing, and then his life just ends. I think that would have been tragic, but they already did it, and I'm okay with that. But I think one big thing that I've always wanted, and I'm glad they kind of touched on this in Kenobi with the cold open. I'd love to see like a Jedi kind of just doing his thing, chilling in the temple, and then shit just hitting the fan. It's literally the scariest situation you could possibly see yourself in. You're doing your studying for the day, or you're getting ready to go to sleep. It's nighttime. You're getting ready for bed. And all of a sudden you hear like blaster fire in the hallways, and you're like, why are clones in the hall? Oh my god, he's killing my friends, and my master's sitting there. I would love a situation where it's just a Jedi not even trying to fight, it's just him trying to figure out what's going on, and he's lightsabers out, but he doesn't want to kill them. He's just like blocking blaster fire, like I need to get the hell up. What is going on? And everybody's like, here, go to the archives, protect the archives. He's just like, what the hell are we even doing here? What is going on? No, like he's like just a Padawan who's chilling at, maybe he got back from like an Outer Rim siege or something, and his master's still out there, and he doesn't know what's happened to his master. He doesn't know that Order 66 has gone out, and his entire goal, that entire point of view story, is him just trying to get to a ship and getting away. Like I would love a situation where it's just like a crisis. Like I love the idea of like Order 66 happening from the perspective of like almost like Thanos snap type of thing, where Nick Fury sees like a helicopter falling from the sky, and you're just like, oh, and everybody else knows what's happening. The audience knows what's happening, but everybody else is just like, what? Like, why are clones monitoring the halls? Like, why are clones shooting at people? Why are they like so much more robotic? Like, they're not like this normally, and it's just like, oh god, something really bad is happening right now. And it's just like, I'd love that from that kind of perspective.
I don't know why, I'm just picturing like a Jedi is just like sitting on the toilet and stuff starts popping off, and they just put your feet up on the stall, and they're like, oh god.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no.
Josh, when you bring that series back, man?
When TikTok decides that they like it again, I'm so sick of every time I repost the first episode every 6 months or so, that first episode goes off, and then I post the second episode, and then nobody sees it. I'm like, all right, like I want to keep doing it, and maybe I will find the time to do it, and I'll treat it like just like a little pet project where whoever does see it can enjoy it, like whoever does manage to go see it. But for now, I'm like, dude, like a lot of the, like, believe it or not, a lot of time goes into those. I had to write scripts for a few of them, and I'm not writing scripts unless people get to see it. Like, I'm just gonna make a business decision there. Like something like the 7 forms of lightsaber combat, that's something that I can do and then just leave it up.
Evergreen.
It's different with like, yeah, it's different from like doing like a skit, and it's like, come on, dude, like I've been running, I ran around, I started sweating when I made this. Come on. Like, I don't know, you have like 6 episodes up, and then your episode 1 video, someone just comments like a minute ago, where's episode 2? And yeah, exactly, where's the pirate video? You're like, all right. That became a meme that happened so much. You never posted it. One dude tried reporting me because he thought I lied about getting the pirate costume. And he was like, yeah, I'm reporting this. Like, you said that you had the pirate costume and you don't. And this is like a month after I did it. And I was like, dude, like, it's up there. and I tagged him, and he was like, "Oh, my bad." I was like, "Yeah, like this algorithm is insane. You're gonna find that video, but then you're not gonna find everything else that means it. I don't know." So hopefully,
X-Core says you made
Maybe
pirate
one day.
videos.
Yeah, no, literally.
I think that's a joke. I think we all know that you did. Okay, so we are just about out of time. I do want to catch up with the chat to see what they said about their fact pov. We have Brooke Dazzler or B Dazzler with the Rex Battle of Endor point of view. We also have Ven Skywalker saying takes of the Republic when Rex has Leia and Luke around a campfire after Endor, and he tells them stories about everything. That's pretty cool too.
That hurts. Stop it, Finn. I don't want to think about it.
Let's see here. Kenny says Jar Jar, his perspective on the Empire, and if still alive, seeing the rebels fighting. These are all greats. I just think in
Jar Jar's
general,
brain is a bag of cats.
I think in general, a lot of times people will request or say that they want a what if for Star Wars, but I think that they will make bank with a from a certain point of view show of all of these people. Like, it's kind of like beings of the galaxy. Shout out to Bariqua Wookie. But yeah, do you guys have any final thoughts before we wrap up this show?
For me, since we were talking about the discourse with the fandom, just be kind to one each other. Just I mean, on both sides. On the positive side, don't jump down people's throat right away. Let them actually hang themselves if they're being stupid. But at the same time, hear them out, because they just may not know how to articulate what they're trying to say. And on the asshole side, stop being assholes. Stop it. Seriously.
Quite simple.
Like it's funner when you are kind and enjoy it and try to enjoy it, because then you can actually get around other people who enjoy it too, and then you're invited to more of the party. So stop.
For sure. I would like to co-sign everything he said. That's pretty much what I was gonna say. Be kind to each other. Oh, you're good, man. No, that's why we're here. But be kind to each other. Agree and disagree like adults. And continue to enjoy, and continue to feel comfortable and glad that we've been able to help create and develop this community of love and appreciation of a franchise that we can all get behind. Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Choco, any final thoughts?
Yeah, this has been awesome. Always a pleasure talking to y'all. Can't wait to hopefully hang out in the UK, especially with anyone else here, anyone that's already over there, anyone that is sick of the negative discourse and wants to join up. It's awesome.
All right, so let's start with Josh really quickly. We'll go ahead with our plugs and our sign out. So Josh, where can people find you?
Well, I keep it simple. You guys can find me at every major social media site, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and most notably TikTok at maceahwindu. There's an AH in between the name Mace Windu. That's pretty easy enough to find. I talk more in depth on YouTube about regarding Star Wars topics. Might even get a little spicier than on TikTok, because there's certain things that I don't really want to put on TikTok that I can put on YouTube. And I'm off the chain on Twitter, so that's a fun conversation to have. But I'd love to get to know you guys. If you guys ever want to follow me on any of those major sites, do all I can to keep creating content and keep keeping you entertained. Thanks.
And to Paul, additional question: karaoke night when?
I'm always
asked by Chase
night again. You said what? Asked by Chase.
Yeah.
That was good times, man.
What?
I'm surprised I didn't have a hangover the next day, but I guess UK or whenever. Just let me know. Shoot, we'll be there.
And where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok at jedimasterdepaul. Also on YouTube. I know I've been saying this. We have hiatus. But I'm about to start popping off videos again now that I made that commitment to do the giveaway with the podcast. So that's starting back up, Conspiracy Cantina. I was going to do a separate one with just myself, but I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a lot of work right there. I can't be pull myself thin. So we'll be starting up the podcast back up. I will be talking about X-Core Gamer Skills. He might be coming on back on when he has time to be the co-host as well. But yeah, so TikTok, jedimasterdepaul, and YouTube, Conspiracy Cantina. I'm on Twitter, but I'm afraid of Twitter, so
don't be.
Well, you should be.
You should be, but don't be.
Twitter's wild, man. I'm from Oakland, and Twitter's wild.
Damn, you from Oakland? Damn.
So yeah, if you see me on Twitter, say hi. You might see something spicy, you might see something not. So, but I've been trying to do more Star Wars stuff, so that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Guys, if you are in the chat and you aren't following maceahwindu or jedimasterdepaul already, go follow them immediately. And just to address David in the chat, next time we should just go to a regular bar. I have a feeling that would not work out because we are all, majority of us are pretty introverted. And the private room did encourage a lot of us to open up with each other, but we'll see how many people are up for making fools of themselves in front of the public.
I'll tell you this, as long as the business is still good next year, the credit card will still be flowing. So
bottle service again?
I am manifesting in this period of strong and annoying and frustrating inflation. I am manifesting flowing cash for all of us, and this time next year we'll be talking about how awesome London Celebration was. Mm-hmm. I'm manifesting. I'm speaking that into existence.
Absolutely. And Choco, where can people find you and plugs?
Yeah, I'm as most of y'all probably know by now, Darth Choco YouTube, Darth Choco on TikTok, Darth Choco 7 on Twitter. I have the High Ground podcast this week, Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We will be talking about A New Hope. Got an awesome group of people to do that, so I'm excited for that. Additionally, I am about to start a new channel called Choco Fit, just because I've been working out recently. I was like, you know what? I want more motivation. So I don't know. I'll probably haven't actually started it yet, but it's in the works.
Well, all right, man.
Right on.
I'm rooting for you too. Go ahead, man. I remember how happy I was. I remember how happy I was when I lost 20 pounds last year. I got to fit into some clothes that like I hadn't been able to wear in like years, and it was the sweetest, most rewarding feeling ever. And all I had to do was just change the way I eat. It wasn't even as much the working out, even though that was an addition to it, but like more so than the working out, it's like eating differently. And when I figured that out, I was good. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm below 200 now. I was at like 228, 229. Looked at myself in the mirror one day and I said, I'm not happy with this anymore. And I just, grilled chicken and rice, brother, for the next like 3 months. And I was like, hey, I'm there. And I felt so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
I think the biggest battle is reducing your sugar for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we are out of time, and that is it for this episode of Dyad in the Forest. Shout out to X-Core Gamer Skills, St. Pat, Xanatos, Connor, Chase, Jeff, Haley, and Kenny, everyone else in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And before we go, I do want to say thank you to all of the people who are part of the Dyad squadron. You guys see your ships there and everything. Thank you for your support and for the love, because without you guys, we could not do this week in and week out. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this channel. Back to the main stage. We're out of time. Everyone's fixing to go to dinner or enjoy the rest of their night. But I believe that is the end. On to the next one.
Yeah.
For light and for life.
We are all the Republic.
And may the Force be with you always.